Hi again. Thank you so much for having us here. We are really excited to talk about a program called Cascadia Culture and Geoscience Exchange, or CCASE for short. But first, I'm going to pass it off to my Neah Bay High School interns to kick us off.
I don't know.
I'm starting mine. Who wants to read the teacher?
Reciprocity. Quileute Qўlíyot. When you give, it will come back to you. Us and Mrs. Hazel Green thought this was a good teaching to include and share because it reflects the nature of culture exchange we are giving to the UW students as they are giving back to us.
So, thank you, Tim. Okay, so first, let me introduce myself. Qŵidiččaʔa, Ukukshas Julia, Haley Hoquat. So, hi everyone, my name is Julia, and I am non-native, or I'm white. I am a PhD student at the University of Washington, and there I study earthquakes and tsunamis. I try to kind of estimate what future earthquakes might look like so that we can better prepare for them. I also am the CCASE co-director, and I lead specifically the CASE Makah team. Okay. Here's Crow's slide.
Crow. I'm a junior at Neah Bay High School. I'm an enrolled student at Central Washington University and a Running Start student at Peninsula College. I'm about a year into a bachelor's degree in environmental science with a minor in English. When I graduate from high school, I'll be about 3 lab classes away from an Associate of Science, but I'll have all of my general education credits met and I'll be able to get that done in about 1 semester. After I graduate from Peninsula College, I hope to come back and work for the tribe, but I'm also considering going into earth science and environmental law afterwards, if I want to pursue more education.
Very nice. Okay, now Josiah.
Qŵidiččaʔa, Qўdiččaʔa, Qŵidiččaʔa, Qūdiččaʔa. Hello all, my name is Josiah. I am Makah. I live in Neah Bay, Washington. I come from 2 years. I'm in the 9th grade and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Josiah. Okay. Wow. Tim.
Tim. I'm a case intern, freshman at Neah Bay High School. I can come from the Alabush and Itis families of Suyaz and Ozette. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so thanks for listening to all of our introductions. Now I'm going to get into a little bit about what our program is. So, as I'm sure you all know, we have really heightened earthquake and tsunami risk here in Washington. You can see on this map here, anywhere that's kind of in red would probably experience higher shaking in an earthquake. So those are really the high hazard areas. And you can see that this red area really kind of, can you see my mouse on the screen? Okay. This red area is really along the coast here. So the ultimate goal of our mission, the ultimate goal of our program is to increase coastal community resilience to geohazards like earthquakes, tsunamis, landslides through long-lasting and impactful educational partnerships with rural and tribal schools in Cascadia. That's kind of a mouthful and a really, really big goal. So I'm going to spend most of this program breaking that down and talking about how we actually do that. But first, I have a little bit more background on the program, just kind of how we got started. So CCASE is graduate student founded and led, but we did grow out of a Riverways program at UW. I don't know if any of you have heard of Riverways, but they're a really awesome organization at UW, and they run a bunch of different programs. The main one that's relevant for us is the STEM Alternative Spring Break Program, or STEM ASB. For this program, there are teams of UW students that travel to various rural and tribal schools across the state And over UW spring break, they teach a 5-day science-based curriculum. So you kind of spend all of winter quarter preparing your curriculum and then teaching it over spring break is kind of the big activity. CCASE specifically began when a graduate student named Maddie Lucas wanted to teach an earth science-based curriculum to schools in the tsunami inundation zone. So really, she wanted to teach a very relevant curriculum to the region. And then since then, we've gotten additional funding from the organizations on the right here and have grown our program. So now we have 2 branches of the Cascadia CASE program. The first branch started when Maddie began this program at Quileute Tribal School in La Push, and then I was on that team for 1 year, and then 2 years ago I started the branch at Neah Bay High School, so we were able to expand, which is awesome. Okay, so I think, yeah, so the rest of the talk is going to be discussing what we actually do. What does our programming look like? And most of our program activities tend to fall into one of these 6 categories. And as you can see, we really structure this like an exchange, as Tim was talking about earlier, with the idea of reciprocity being so central to this program. That really is the case. We are learning just as much, if not more, than we're teaching when the UW students come out to Neah Bay. So first, we'll start with the teaching earth science to high schoolers. This is really one of the cornerstones of our program. We want to teach about these geohazards to the high school students. So I will let, yeah, Tim take it away with talking about the hands-on activities here, and I'll also let this video play in the background.
So these are our hands-on and engaging STEM lessons that we do with the UW students that come out to our school. You can see here a tsunami walk time map. It shows just from different areas in town how long it'll take to get to the nearest evacuation zone in the event of a tsunami. And then this over here with the video playing is an engineered tower with sticks and marshmallows that students were trying to make not fall over in the event of an earthquake.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, I don't know if you want to keep going, Tim, you can, but I can also
Indigenous science and histories as taught by elders. There's this Indigenous science toolbox here. And this was handed out to our students, and we all did projects with this, along with our presentations that were given to us.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we make sure to invite elders like Melissa Peterson into the classroom, and I'll talk more about her later in the presentation as well. So thank you, Tim. Another thing that we do as UW students is we make sure that we share about our experience being in college, being at UW. So we do this through a couple ways, but in particular, we set up a college table at lunch every day. So we have this table set up in the common areas with lots of flyers and information about UW, about what it's like to be a student there, about things like what clubs are available, how does financial aid work, things like that. We actually this year we had a flyer with the Rooted Futures QR code on it. I didn't actually realize that this came out of your initiative, Carrie. I was one of the testers for that website, and it's awesome. So anyway, we were highlighting that this year. But anyway, we also have lots of goodies and prizes to get the students to come up. We have lots of stickers and candy, things like that. And you can see they got excited about it. So yeah, we try to talk about what life could look like post high school, basically. We also mentor high school students who are interested in college, mainly through this internship program. So I will turn it over to Josiah to talk about what the internships look like both at Quileute Tribal School and Neah Bay.
Here we can see the coastal erosion field work with the Quileute Tribal School high school interns at Rialto Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And here we can see the NBHS internship final project. Last year, they mentored our interns Amnesty, Callie, Nani, and Quapes. This year, we are working with Crow, Tim, and Josiah, who named their team the Fault Line Flyers. We can see last year's team, the map they made, their logo, and our logo. Last year, the final project was for us to install a Raspberry Shake seismometer in NBHS and put a tsunami walk time and evacuation maps around town. This year, this presentation is part of their final project.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, this internship is a great way to get to know more students and to get them interested in earth science. Okay, so now on to kind of the other side of the culture exchange. We at UW are so lucky and grateful to be able to work with teachers and students and community members who so graciously share their knowledge and culture with us. So that kind of started when we first got to know Hazel Green, who's the language and culture teacher, or one of them at Neah Bay High School. So whenever we teach over spring break and whenever we go to the school at all, actually, we participate in language class alongside the students. So over spring break in particular, they were playing a traditional game called AIS, in which you roll beaver teeth and then you win points based on the combination of markings that you roll. We also learned a lot of the associated vocabulary with that. And you can see kind of some of my team members here playing a game and then some other students as well. And this is really special, one, because we're getting to know some other teachers and some of the language, and we're also getting to be students alongside the students that we later teach. So we kind of get to know them in another setting as opposed to us just standing up in front of the classroom. We actually get to learn alongside them, which is really special. We are also so lucky to be invited to participate in various cultural activities at the high school. So this past year over spring break, we worked with Paco, the woodshop teacher, as well as Paul, the carving teacher, to make these wooden rattles that you can see here. Here are some of our finished products. They are always so graciously sharing materials and knowledge and wisdom with us. And this was one of the ways we spent our free time over spring break. We spent a lot of our class periods here when we weren't teaching. Then I'll pass it to Crow.
This was our activity in our regalia making class, which is fifth period. We have a whole bunch of donated beads and olive shells and dentilium shells, and we as a class organize them, and we make a lot of different things. With the UW students, we decided to make olive shell necklaces. I'm a part of this class, and I remember we partnered up with each intern and we taught them how to make an olive shell necklace. I partnered up with Devin. And over about 3 class periods, all of us made olive shell necklaces. I didn't have a picture of the one that I made, but the blue one on the right is one of the olive shell necklaces that I made in class with them. It wasn't the one that I used to teach Devin, but in regalia making class, we make a lot of things. Recently, we finished a bunch of olive shell breastplates. We do earrings, we do necklaces, we do bracelets, we do all sorts of stuff.
Thank you, Crow. And then, yeah, the other really awesome thing that we get to learn is just various other types of knowledge and stories and history and from various teachers and students and other tribal members as well. So I'll pass it back to Crow to talk more about the salmon release.
This was our salmon release that we did. I want to say it was a Thursday after school. We were invited to drive ourselves to the National Fish Hatchery, and Holly brought a cooler with a bunch of the fish. And we met the UW students there, and we took them. We picked up like 1 to 5 fish at a time in a jar, and we gently released them into the stream. It took about an hour to release all of the fish safely because we have to be extremely gentle with them. although we did keep these fish a little bit longer than we usually do, so we didn't have to be quite as gentle, but they're still little itty bitty babies and they're still very fragile. Right following the salmon release, we met up with a couple of the staff at the Makah National Fish Hatchery, and they showed us a tour. They showed us a lot of the hatching tanks where they keep a lot of the eggs. There was a bunch of diagrams through the visitor center. The picture in the middle is clipping their adipose fin, which is an identifier for if a fish is a hatchery fish or a natural fish. Hatchery fish tend to have clipped adipose fins. And in the bottom right is a sorting machine that sorted them by size and automatically clipped their adipose fin.
Awesome. Thank you, Crow. Yeah, Crow joined us for this little tour, which was really awesome. Okay, so another experience that I want to highlight is getting to work with elders in the community, like Melissa Peterson, who have so much knowledge and wisdom to share. In particular, my team has been working with her and talking about her grassroots tsunami evacuation trail. So this trail kind of started as an idea when she kind of first really learned about how severe the earthquake and tsunami risk is in the community. And she realized that there was not a quick way for the people in her area of town to get to high ground when the earthquake and the tsunami happened. She was worried about her grandkids coming over and helping them get to high ground. And so she knew something had to be done about it. So that's kind of where the idea for this tsunami trail came from. It was her idea, and she kind of got a whole community initiative going to actually build this tsunami evacuation route up the hillside. So now there is a much faster way for the community to get to high ground in the event of an earthquake and a tsunami. It's also a great hiking trail. So it's lovely even when we are not in the middle of an earthquake. But one thing that happens is it gets overgrown occasionally. So over spring break, we spent a lot of time weeding and kind of packing down the dirt and really kind of cleaning up the trail so that everyone can use it both for fun and for hiking, and then also in the event of an earthquake. Okay, so to kind of start wrapping up a little bit, so that's kind of our program as it is right now. We do hope to grow in the future. So if we can grow both the Quileute and Makah programs, that would be incredible. Just keep those going and make them even bigger and continue to improve them. That would be kind of our top priority. Ideally, if there are more grants available and more funding, it would really be useful to hire a full-time program manager. Just we would get to do more activities, we would get to accomplish more. Ideally, at some point, CCASE will be expanded to additional coastal schools. That's kind of the dream. But we definitely would need some more organizational capacity to accomplish that. And I have a little one-pager here that I have our QR code to our website on the bottom, things like that. That'll come up again in the presentation, but I can also send this around if that would be useful, this one pager. And then I have some wrap-ups from some of the student interns. If you want to share some or all of what you wrote, please feel free.
This was what I wrote on my reflection. And I thought that there are very few internship opportunities that are suitable for me with a student with autism, anxiety, and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Many of them aren't plausible for me because of my disabilities, and most of the ones that I can physically do just aren't very enjoyable. The CCASE program and internship has offered me a variety of activities that I enjoy doing, and they keep me pretty engaged. It's not repetitive enough that I grow bored, and it's not so different that I start to feel lost and confused. I've enjoyed it enough to go out of my way to spend more time with the UW students, staying after with the salmon release to help with the hatchery tour, and volunteering how to teach them how to make olive shell necklaces in my regalia making class. It taught me a lot more about earth science, a field that's really closely intertwined with my own environmental science. And somehow I hadn't considered it until the program. Since starting the internship, I've learned about several jobs that interest me that are really adjacent to the field that I plan on going to. And some of them are positions that I might actually enjoy more. I thought I was pretty solid on the career that I want to go into, but the CCASE internship has made me reconsider it and has opened a lot of new doors for me.
Thank you, Crow. That's great to hear. All right. And then
This semester's internship program has been one of the most valuable experiences of my academic career. The program involved several meetings with students at the University of Washington, both in person and online. It involved creating a name for our team, setting our goals, and looking towards all the possibilities. My role is that of a standard intern, contributing what is asked for me and presenting these slides, but key responsibilities include making sure we complete the goal we decided upon and making sure the internship flows smoothly. Now I'd like to highlight the spring break experience. A team of students from UW came to our school and gave us presentations on seismology, but also they provided us with hands-on and interactive lessons which really helped the information stick. It differed from the usual program as we were able to have this more interactive experience, and I believe it was valuable for our team. Some key skills that I developed during this internship was the skill to manage time, the ability to communicate effectively, and the ability to understand seismology and the purpose for this all. The challenge that we faced during this internship was making sure we were following the timeline we decided on during the initial meetings, but we remained resilient, and the flexibility of the students allowed us to succeed. I believe that this internship opened my eyes to the world of seismology, and I now view it as a potential career path for myself.
so thank you for that, Josiah. Um, yeah, definitely. High school is busy. You're in so many classes and have so much to do it at all times. But I appreciate you guys finding the flexibility to make this internship program work. And I'm glad that it was such a good experience. So yeah, just want to say thank you, Kʷidiččaʔa. Thank you so much for having us here. Um, and yeah, I just we'll leave this slide up at the end here. There's a QR code that goes to our website. Um, and yeah, I encourage you to check it out. Email us if you have questions or want to get involved. This presentation was kind of just the tip of the iceberg of this program. There's always a lot happening, always a lot in the works. So please feel free to reach out, check out our website, and yeah, I'm happy to take questions. Or I'm not sure how the rest of this meeting works, but anyway, thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Really impressive. Thank you so much for sharing this. It's just as exciting and as impressive as I thought it was when I read Tiffany's story. Does anybody else have any questions or feedback or thoughts? Shout them out or raise your hand. I'm just seeing a lot of applause emojis.
I, I was a teacher most of my career, and this is just like this is so cool. I think that so good job you all. And I mean just all the interactive experiences and not sitting in a class, I mean sitting in a classroom has its place, but I just this is inspiring and I want there to be more of this too. So nice work.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we try to make our activities as hands-on as possible, really try to grab attention in that way.
I'm thinking we have 20 member tribes of the Northwest Indian Fisheries Commission. This is two of them. Also, Yakima is a party to the U.S. v. Washington case. I'm thinking, okay, so just 19 more to go. Let's do it.
Mhm.
Just need
Yeah,
the
and actually,
staff, right?
there is a case program that goes to Yakima, but it's not specifically earth science related. It's I forget exactly what they teach. It's a different type of science, but so it doesn't fall under CCASE, but yes, so we've got three down.
Okay, cool.
It's complicated structure,
Yeah.
all these programs.
Well, I'm just so impressed at the coordination between you and the school, that the school is able to provide lessons for you as well as, their regular scheduled classes. And also, and this exchange of knowledge is just incredible.
Hmm. Yeah, really, we're so grateful that all the teachers really make time for us. Oh, and I guess one thing also I'd like to point out is that we value all of the time that we're given and everything, and we make sure to compensate everyone for that. I'm a big believer that, I mean, this work is important and it should be treated and paid for as such. So definitely all of our partner teachers are paid. Our student interns are paid for their time. So that's another aspect.
Love to hear it. Dan
Mhm.
Spencer, hand up.
All right. Well, thank you for that presentation. Very inspiring. Great work by you and all the students, and I'm sure Holly as well. Yeah, as far as the question had to do with, the students, high school students being interns and how that all works and how they might be compensated, and then, all the way down to funding. I could see some potential in emulating this on a fisheries science, you know, direction, but some of those nuances and how to make it work. I haven't worked with a high school program yet.
Mhm. Yeah, it definitely that's a good question. And I don't know that I have all the answers to it, but I would say in terms of the internship program, we kind of try to tailor it to what the students are interested in. So last year, here, let me go back a couple of slides. So in particular, last year, Nani was really interested in designing this logo here in the corner, and that hadn't necessarily been one of our designated like internship activities um, or tasks to do, but she was really excited about it. And so obviously I wanted her to do what she was interested in. And this was kind of her way of tying in science and culture together. So we kind of adapt the internship to um, what we're presented with and what the students are interested in. For instance, like this presentation now is part of the internship program, which we hadn't known about a couple months ago. So always kind of adapting and trying to figure out what would be the most interesting and beneficial for the students, again, without making it like too time consuming or anything, but also hoping that it is worthwhile. Um, and then in terms of the compensation, we are paying each of the students a stipend of a couple $100s each, because this definitely is, um, it's a college level internship, and they're doing a lot of good work, and they're being creative and really also pairing together the science and the culture aspects in new and exciting ways. So that requires a lot of thought and thoroughness. So I don't know if that
And
answers your question exactly,
yeah,
or
yeah. And then do they receive some college like independent science credits or cultural credits as well? Is that a feasible option?
oh, that's a good question. I hadn't considered that, but I should look into that and see if there's any way they can get like course credit
Yeah,
for
I've
this.
done some work with Evergreen State College, for example, where I've had some interns and they've received independent science credits for their time, and the number of hours translates into the X number of credits. So I think it's like 4 hours per week per credit or something like that.
That's an awesome idea. Thank you so much. I'm going to write that down actually and
All
see
right.
and see what we can do about that.
I'm really excited that you showed these logos again because I thought they were so cool. I'm really drawn to the waves on the top one and then the eagle with the globe in its mouth. Just outstanding. So Julia,
Mhm.
you'll do this again next year? Or are you now locked in, or do you have to pass it down to another student when you graduate?
I will be here for a couple more years,
Okay.
definitely. But I mean, that also is one of our things that we're thinking about is how do we keep the continuity going when grad students aren't here forever? Um, how do we, how do we keep that going? That's definitely something we're actively thinking about. So if anyone has any suggestions or ideas or way to really, make this a more permanent program. I mean, it feels pretty permanent to me right now because I'm not going to let anything happen to it. But eventually, I will graduate and have to pass it down to someone.
How many graduate students went with you over the spring break for the
Um,
exchange?
yeah, good question. So my team actually it was me and then three undergrads.
Okay.
Normally, Riverways recruits undergraduates.
Mm.
That's I guess just who tends to be interested. But the Quileute team, I think, had two or three graduate students and then one or two undergraduates. So it's kind of a mix of whomever is interested.
Well, I just feel like this program would be a draw and that people would come to it and and look forward to being part of it. So I would think it'd be easy to recruit new people.
Yes.
So
The only difficulty is that it is time consuming. And so sometimes if people are, in a lot of courses or working some extra jobs, it gets tricky. But I think all the time is worth it personally. So it's easy for me to sell this program usually.
yeah, I mean, it's not like it's. I feel like it's you're getting out to Neah Bay and you're getting this education from the Makah school that not like it's exclusive access. Like not anyone can do this. So or not just anyone can do this. So it's very. I just think it's incredible. Obviously, you can probably tell.
Thank you. Yes, it's very special. It's definitely the best thing that I do as a graduate student. Right? It's reshaped what my career might look like going forward. So.
And one of the things that we face when talking about educating the exchange of information is that we hear from non-native people in who work for various agencies who don't know enough about the tribes and like specifically about like treaty rights, like the state Department of Fish and Wildlife staff don't understand treaty rights and what the tribes do. And so I sort of feel like this education, it's like as important as it is to reach out to Indigenous students at a young age to get them into these fields, we also need to reach out to the non-native people in these fields to understand the tribe's role culturally with these natural resources. So just win, 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 win.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like I definitely, as much as we teach seismology, and that's kind of, the initial idea of the program, I definitely learn so much more than I could ever teach in exchange.